So today I'm going to talk about emotional reactivity, what some people might call emotional volatility, being hyperbolic. And I say it that way because even that word is a relic from a time that is ending, which is a time where we dismiss people who are showing instability or hurt or pain. And because of our lack of understanding, we never heal the core issue because we don't want to deal with things that make us uncomfortable. So we sweep people under the rug, and even ourselves. So I really want to ask you, if you have strong emotional reactions, what is the reaction trying to tell you? Because the reaction isn't the enemy, and a certain interpretation of spirituality might make you think or believe that your reactions are the enemy, because after all, becoming like God and the creator is being non-reactive, and our reactivity is part of the karma that we have to heal. True, that's all true. But what is the reactivity a symptom of? That's really what I want to ask you. I'm going to give you an extreme example because I feel like extreme examples paint the picture in the most potent way. And then you can apply this to your life and try to figure out, like, what is my reactivity a symptom of? So when a woman or man, but let's just talk about women because I mostly work with women when it comes to this issue. Let's say you're in an abusive relationship. And when I say abuse, I mean, for the purposes of this conversation, there's many kinds of abuse: spiritual abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse. Let's say, for the purposes of my example, I'm talking about people that do not respect your physical boundaries, your sexual boundaries. Obviously, that includes being touched in an emotionally unattuned way, like someone that just thinks you're something that they can play with. Being slapped, obviously, being pinned on the floor, being locked in a room, having your wardrobe controlled. This is all extreme abuse. So when you have emotional reactions to these things, it's really dangerous to think that, oh, I feel angry about this, so my karmic work is to stop being reactive to this. Right? It's actually a better sign that you find abuse to be completely not okay with you than if you think it's okay, if you make excuses for it. Right? If you say, oh, that's just who they are. Oh, they pay the bills. They take care of me in this way. They help me in this way. So this other behavior is totally fine. That's much more serious, and that's much more of a concern than somebody who's actually feeling and knowing that this is wrong, but they can't quite extricate themselves from the situation because they don't know the real issue. So if you're in an abusive relationship and you send a million texts to someone, or you're really reactive, and yes, your evil speech and all your reactions are things that were meant to be triggered so that you can transform them. And actually, when you don't react to something, when you sit with the emotional pain, you're more likely to actually know what the real issue is. Okay. And the real issue often, right, if I've attracted a person like this in the first place, the real issue is I don't value myself. The real issue is I believe I deserve this because XYZ, because I'm a terrible person, because my only worth comes from being a martyr. I should stay in this situation. The real issue could be I don't believe in God. I don't believe that God will provide for me. I have a kid and I can't pay the bills, and so I have to stay in this situation because it gives me financial security. That's the real issue, is that you don't believe in something bigger than your ego that will provide for you. So when it comes to emotional reactivity, we always want to ask, What am I believing about myself? What's the real issue here? In the case of abuse, if you try to tell someone just to work on themselves, like if you worked with someone who's in an abusive relationship and you said, well, focus on your reactivity, focus on, but yet they're with a partner that is like physically abusive, you're literally telling them to withstand something that they shouldn't withstand, that you don't want to coach someone to withstand. And you're making them think like it's their fault, like they need to change themselves. And yes, they do need to change. The messenger was sent so that you could change. But the deeper change is, wait, it's not really that I'm angry. It's that I chose this person, this situation, this business partner. And after seeing what it is, I chose to stay in it because, boom, there's the real issue. I chose this and I chose to stay in it because, then you get to the real issue. Because I don't believe that I deserve what I really want. I don't believe that I even deserve human decency, to be safe, right? That's how you get to the real issue. And when you get to the real issue and you punch holes in it and you realize it's a lie, then you've raised your vibration. That's what raising your vibration is. Raising your vibration isn't pretending to appreciate someone who you can't fool your body to try to appreciate someone who is actively punishing you. You can appreciate their soul for coming to give you a message. But if you try to coach someone to use positive focus and all of that to try to heal their karma in a situation, you might be doing them a disservice. And the real service would be, why are you here in the first place? And why are you choosing to stay here? Now, that being said, anything is redeemable. Anybody can heal, anybody can change. But if you just ask yourself sincerely, like if the person that in question, let's say you're in a relationship, are they showing signs that they want to change? That's all you need to ask yourself when you're trying to figure out, is it in them to be kind? Is it in them to change? Of course it's in them. God's in everything. But right now, who are they being right now? Do they admit when they're wrong? Do you feel that their soul is speaking to them and making them feel remorse and responsibility about what they're doing? Are they showing signs that they are actively need help and want to change? Are they seeking advice outside of their personal paradigm? Which on the one hand, we need to trust ourselves above all else, but on the other hand, I can't tell you how many times just speaking to another person has literally saved my life. And you need to know that if you're the kind of person that's created abuse in your life. Talking to people has made me remember what my rights are, even what my legal rights are. And it's amazing, like I'm a lawyer, I'm an attorney, and because I've had karma of low self-worth, I myself have forgotten my rights. That's how strong doormat karma can be. It's like, I'm an educated woman. And that completely goes out the window when what's at play is low self-worth creating situations for me that are unkind to me because I'm being unkind to myself. It's a hologram. So we need to understand that when you thaw out of this kind of karma, you are going to walk through fire. You're going to feel angry, maybe at the people in your life, maybe and almost certainly at yourself when you realize what you have done to yourself. That's okay. That's part of the process. That's part of the process. If you allow yourself to acknowledge the anger, you can actually move into true sattvic energy, true transcendence, true forgiveness. You can't go from trauma to forgiveness. You can't go from being frozen in self-hatred to forgiveness. No, no, no. You walk through the fire. You walk through hell. You walk through anger. You walk through instability. So it would really behoove all of us to completely reframe how we look at volatility. And you want to catch yourself if you're calling somebody in your life emotionally unstable. Instead of dismissing them, if you want to be of service to them, ask them what they're going through. Ask them what they're going through. What's the real issue? What's going on in your life? And the reason for so many to be stuck in volatility is because they haven't gotten to the issue of healing the self-worth. So they continuously settle for things that they don't really want because of their beliefs. I can't do any better. I'm getting older. I don't have the financial resources. So they settle for things. Settling for something that you don't truly want, I'm telling you, can actually manifest as something as serious as being bipolar. You know why? Because if you have karma of low self-worth, but you don't have a belief system to support that you deserve what you desire, and you're on a path of awakening, you will attract people that will prove to you your low self-worth. And then you might try to spiritualize it. And when you react, you'll feel guilty and like you're the one that something is your fault. And yes, we have to take responsibility for our reactivity, but no matter how reactive you are, you do not deserve to be called a whore, to be hit, to be slapped. Do I need to continue? Right? People get confused and they're like, it's all about me and changing. Yeah, and the way that you need to change is realizing that you don't deserve this. So I feel really passionate about this. I was that woman. I'm an educated woman. I'm a smart woman. I fell prey to the belief that I'm a bad person, that I deserve to be treated badly. I didn't have yet the belief system. Before I had an awakening, I didn't know that there was anything bigger than me that would support me. And so if you believe you're in a situation that you have to stay in, I just want to throw it out there. If you leap into the unknown, even without safety, you will be supported. How could it be any other way? How could it be any other way? Like, how could doing the right thing for yourself lead to something bad for you? So, bottom line here, we have to understand what the emotional volatility is even about. And apart from abusive relationships, anytime that you feel really reactive, always pause and say, what am I believing? What am I believing about myself? The belief so often that people are experiencing, they're actually experiencing a belief. They're not, the world is not the experience. The experience that you are reacting to is your belief. Oh, people didn't invite me to this party. Oh, I feel so sad. What are you really believing? Do you believe that you'll never have connections in your life? Do you believe that being yourself is never going to be acceptable in this world? You see, that's the root issue. That's the cause of your experience. It's not what the world is doing. And the real karma is to work with the beliefs. The reactions are a messenger for the beliefs. So I hope this was illuminating in some way, and I hope you have a beautiful day.